Hey guys, today we're giving you our top 6 fantasy football sleepers for 2020. Nobody's talking about these players who could win you your league, and we're giving you our top 6 right now.
Hit that drop. Hey everyone, I am Justin, and that is Kyle, and we are the Fantasy Football Upside. Kyle and I want to say thank you. Thanks for stopping by our Fantasy Football Podcast and our YouTube channel. And we're going to dive right into this. Today, we will go through our top 6 2020 Fantasy Football Sleepers. I know that's what everybody loves to see. Everybody loves to hear as well.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get right back to our midsummer rankings next week with our wide receivers. We released our running back 1 through 24 midsummer rankings. Go ahead and check that out, as well as a mock draft from this week in the description below and above.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kyle, let's not make this wait any longer. What we got?
No, let's not. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys, if this is kind of information that you like. Look, we're providing this stuff all year long, so make sure that you subscribe so that you're notified that we're uploading this stuff, and you can watch us and win your league that way. All right, let's dive right in, head first into the shallow end here, Justin, and let's go ahead and talk about our sleeper QB. Who do we have as our top sleeper QB?
So I believe we have decided on Matthew Stafford is our top QB sleeper. And boy, people are really fading on Matthew Stafford for some reason. I don't really get the reason. The reason is the back. I mean,
I guess
all signs are pointing to the fact that he should be back fully healthy. And I mean, people also forget this guy was a top 5 fantasy QB before he got hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's not forget about that. And let's also not forget about the fact that he has a ton of talent around him.
Yeah.
He's got Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, TJ Hawkinson. He's got some decent running backs. They drafted DeAndre Swift. They still have Kerryon Johnson if he can stay healthy. And I think their offensive line is still improving as well. I mean, there's a lot to like about this team.
Yeah. I mean, other than the fact that, Matt Patricia's still the coach, like other
Mr.
than
number
that,
2 pencil.
Yeah, Mr. Number 2 pencil, Mr. Captain Caveman.
Yeah.
Other than that, this is going to be a great offense. He doesn't call the plays, obviously, right? He's a defensive guy. And then that's actually reflected in the fact that before Stafford got hurt, he was on pace to do really well. I think he was going to finish in the top 5, maybe 6th or something like that.
I think it was,
he maintained his pace. It was a pretty ridiculous pace. But the thing is that he was gone, and then Golladay and Jones both still performed at the same level. And that shows you that it is just a lot of system really helps. But it's also that the talent around him can carry the team too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's both him and them. There's some synergy. It's synergy. Yeah. That's what it is. So look, I think that Stafford's a guy who people are just sleeping on.
Yeah. Hey.
And
he's
sleepers. Going. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this beforehand that he's going somewhere around the 14th QB off the board. So that's QB flex or super flex leagues or 2 QB leagues that are even drafting him.
Yeah, I think
other than that, he's not getting drafted.
We're getting him down to probably that QB 8 or 9. I think whenever
I have him at,
they're going to be updating here soon.
Yeah, I have him at 7 right now, and I think that you're still pre-update and have him further back. But I anticipate probably he's going to be around 7 or 8 for us. We both firmly believe in Matt Stafford showing up this year, guys, for you. So, look, if you want to follow the correct strategy to win fantasy football, you take a lot of running backs and wide receivers really early, and you wait on QB and tight end until later.
The value is there.
Yeah, the difference between the 12th QB and the first QB is not significant enough to draft them ahead of other positions a lot of the time. Spend the draft capital, in other words. So taking a guy like Stafford, who has every likelihood of being a top 12, and you get him outside of the top 12 guys, that's a great move. It means that he's there even if somebody's, being an idiot and taking 2 QBs, right?
Right.
So, all right, let's move on here. Running backs, we have 2 of them here. The sleeper that we have, I think, for I think I'd say he's our first running back sleeper. I don't know if if we rank these guys.
No, yeah,
but
we just kind of,
yeah, we've got Zach Moss. And I like Zach Moss. I think that he's solid. I think that this team is going to feature him in first and second down. That's what they've indicated that they're likely to do. I think it devalues Singletary a little bit. I think this is somebody that is going to get a good amount of value to you very late in the draft. I don't know that he's necessarily going to be an everyday starter for you, but it's possible that he sits in your flex spot, or if you're in a 2-flex league, that he fits into your second flex spot. I would definitely say he's going to provide that level of value. Yeah. So, look, this is a guy in an offense that it does really well running the ball, only has one pass receiving target really to talk about. That's Stephon Diggs. And he's going to get first and second down work. He's stepping right into that Frank Gore role. So I would guess somewhere in the order of 150 to 170 carries next year, or general touches. And that's pretty darn solid. I mean, that's not something I'm spending highly on, but you're getting this guy late in a draft. I mean, he's really not even going in some drafts.
Yeah, some draft he's not. I think he's right around the 12th round and 12-team standard scoring leads.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you hit it. He's coming right into that Frank Gore role. And like you said, they've come out and said that. Just come out and said that, which really did take a hit to Devin Singletary's fantasy value because, before the actual NFL draft, I mean, Singletary is definitely an RB2. And now it's just really up in the air. They just don't want to give him the entire workload. And I get it. I mean, in today's NFL, you want to have two really good running backs, and that's what you have, and they both do different things. And that's what they want. They want Zach Moss in there, first down, second down, and then also that goal line work. I don't see Josh Allen repeating that 9 rushing touchdowns again this year. I just don't see that. And, okay, it's going to go somewhere because they're probably going to run it. Who's going to be in the backfield?
Yeah, well, it was a lot of indecision out of Josh Allen,
right?
And that was why he would do that.
Maybe more design runs actually now with Zach Moss.
I think they'll take the ball out of his hand a little bit more as a result. Yeah. And look, Zach Moss is going to be the goal line back. It is not going to be Devin Singletary. It's going to be Zach Moss. That's what Frank Gore did last year, and I don't see them changing that. They've said he steps right into Frank Gore's role. That means first and second down and goal line carries. So that's significant value very late in the draft. We're not saying this guy's going to be a bell cow for you. So don't draft him that way. Don't think of him that way. Think of him as a late round value, hidden gem kind of thing.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on here and hit up our second running back. Who you got for me?
All right. Next up, we have Antonio Gibson of the Washington Blanks, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've heard possibly.
What do you got?
Okay. Yeah. So, the company that operates redskins.com for them, or Washington Redskins, or whatever company is actually operating that website for them, recently acquired and got all the DNS information changed to own and operate DCSentinels.com. So if that happens, guess how many Falco jerseys are going to be sold?
Dude,
right?
I am already signing up for a Falco jersey.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Keanu can go straight from Bill and Ted's third movie to the starting quarterback, but I mean,
you never know.
He's only got to beat out Dwayne Haskins. That's
only.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to Antonio Gibson, but that's a nice little insight from our lawyer friend Kyle here. But Antonio Gibson, he's coming from Memphis, I believe, is where he went to college, and he was more of a wide receiver, but he was also a running back here or there as well. He had a lot of carries. He's kind of like when it comes to fantasy, he's a cheaper Laviska Shenault. In my opinion, they're very similar build. I mean, he's 5'11", 225 pounds. So I've said this in the past. It's kind of odd to say maybe a gadget player because he's a do-it-all kind of guy at that size. But this running back room is very unsteady, and that's why we kind of have him as a sleeper because there's potential for him because they want to get the ball in his hands. And you have Darius Geis in there. I mean, he's the presumable starter, but the guy just can't stay healthy.
How many ACLs does he have?
I don't know. I mean, he's got a knee, right, Kyle? He's got at least one knee.
Well, I think though that I think he tore both ACLs. I think he's torn both of them.
Well, he's torn one, and then he tore the meniscus last year, and I think the other one. And then Adrian Peterson's still there, the ageless wonder. You
Yeah.
just never know how much longer he's going to be able to take the field. So I think that's kind of why we like him as a sleeper.
Yeah. I think he's going to be phenomenal, actually.
Yeah.
I think that they will recognize very quickly what they need to do. You have to remember who their coach is now. It's Riverboat Ron Rivera, right? And he recognized what he had in Christian McCaffrey, and he was willing to find every way possible to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey. He wasn't calling the plays. He's the defensive coach, right? But he knew what he needed to do to keep winning, and so he was willing to do that. I'm not saying that Antonio Gibson is Christian McCaffrey, not even close, but he's going to try to utilize the talents and skills of all of his players to their fullest. And this is a guy who in college, he only played 1 year of D1 ball, but he scored on 15% of his plays that he touched the ball. And I believe that as a running back, he averaged over 15 yards a play.
Is that good?
I don't know. I mean, we always joke about like high score. What's that mean? Did I break something? Did I break something? Is it broken now? Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. I'm not saying he's going to do that at the NFL level, but he was playing D1 ball while he was doing that. It's not like he was just, playing the Washington Generals constantly, right? That's not what he was doing. So I think he's got a real chance to do something if he gets on the field, gets the opportunity, that sort of thing. That's really what you're betting on there, is that he's going to get a chance.
Yeah.
He's still a rookie. He's not going to get a ton of touches, but he's going to get some opportunity.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to wide receivers here. Justin, you want to maybe throw out our first one here?
Yeah, I'll take over on the first one here, and that is Russell Gage for the Atlanta Falcons. And man, he's a guy that literally nobody's talking about. I was looking at it before we got on here, and he's wide receiver 90 right now on Fantasy Pros, and that's pretty shocking because of the amount of targets he got after Mohamed Sanu was traded. He was averaging 7 targets, a little over 7 targets a game to close out the season for an offense that is going to throw the dang ball.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking maybe close to 700 attempts. That means there's a lot of targets out there. I mean, this guy could flirt with he already had 74 last year. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and he didn't even play that much the weeks 1 through 7. This guy could flirt with 100 targets maybe.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
Extremely undrafted right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, well, I mean, another thing that we were talking about was the value of players in offenses that score, that are top 12 offenses in scoring output, right? That the value of those guys is increasingly higher than any other guy at the same, in similarly situated positions that are on offenses that are not like that. Right. And they're throwing the ball close to 700 times last year. They've been doing that since they've had Dirk Cutter. They've had him there several years now. I think it's several years now.
Second stint. Back.
Yeah, second stint with them.
Yes.
And this is what he's known for. I mean, when he was the head coach down in Tampa Bay, what did they do?
Fire that
threw the ball all the time. Yeah, I mean, Jameis Winston was scoring a lot of points for fantasy football for a reason. And it ain't because he's a good QB. It's because he just kept throwing the ball repeatedly.
And they were behind a lot.
Yeah.
This is
which
one of those guys,
also Atlanta's problem, right? They're behind a lot. Yeah. I think they had the most fourth quarter comebacks or something. They were right up there with Detroit. Or no, Detroit lost the most fourth quarter comebacks where other people came back on them. And then Atlanta, I think, had the most fourth quarter comebacks, something like that. But there's tons of targets to go around in this offense, and he's already shown that they're interested in targeting him at a solid level. I mean, I'll take 6+ targets a game out of a guy in an offense that is trying to move the ball down the field constantly and consistently.
Yep.
He's wide receiver 3 there, but there's no reason to say
in the last couple
rounds
be
a wide receiver 2 for you.
Happy. Yeah.
Draft
him the last couple rounds and you're going to be extremely happy.
Yeah, I think so.
Because obviously nobody else is for some reason. Nobody else is drafting him.
Yeah. I don't really get it. Yeah. All right, let's talk
next?
about our wide receiver, our second wide receiver sleeper, and that is Henry Ruggs. He's out in Las Vegas. We usually we've commented actually on this in the past that we usually shy away from rookie wide receivers. We just don't think that those are great scenarios to buy into, especially in redraft leagues, because you're not sitting and waiting on a guy to come to some level of value for you. Instead, you got to get the value out of the guys right away, right?
Right.
Whereas somebody like Henry Ruggs, we think a little bit differently about him. He steps right into an offense that he can perform in. The competition that he has is what did we say? It was Terrell and Renfro.
Williams and
Terrell Williams
and
Hunter Renfro.
And then another rookie, Brian Edwards. But
yeah, but again, I think you can say that's a rookie. Whereas with Ruggs, I think you look at it and you say, this is a dude who's performed consistently, solidly, shows the skills to be an NFL level player. He's a first round draft pick, all that stuff, right? Yeah. I think Derek Carr can get the ball to him. I did that. Yeah. Derek Carr can get the ball to him down the field. And I think that he's a great opportunity here. I think that this is an offense that it doesn't throw to the running back a whole lot. Josh Jacobs is getting a little bit of that. He's probably going to get a little bit better at that. But I think what they want him to do is block on third down. And I think that Darren Waller's going to have a tad bit of a regression. Personally, I think that's what's going to occur. And then I think what you'll see is that Ruggs steps right in and starts getting volume. I would put him somewhere close to 80 targets maybe for the year. And I think that's pretty solid for a guy coming out of the back of the draft that nobody's really drafting at this point. People are starting to shy away. It's that whole mantra that we have, which is avoid rookie wide receivers. And so people are going to avoid him. So I think that this is a good deep sleeper value for you. So
it's definitely one of those things where, you usually shy away from those rookie wide receivers unless they land in a great spot. And that's what he just did. I mean, the Raiders signed Antonio Brown last year to be basically what they just drafted Henry Ruggs to be. And that's a blazer down the field. And that can just get open in space. And that's what Henry Ruggs can do. And once you get the ball in his hands, he's gone.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he was the first wide receiver taken in this draft for a reason. I mean, for all the faults of John Gruden, I still believe in Mike Mayock as a talent evaluator. And there's a reason why he was the first wide receiver taken, and that's why. And, Tyrell Williams isn't going to scare you. Hunter Renfro's not going to scare you.
No.
And
I think if Derek Carr
one.
Yeah, and I think if Derek Carr is going to manage to keep this job going into next year, it's because he found a way to make sure that Henry Ruggs performed. I really do. Look, they've been trying to they don't believe in these other guys either. They've been trying for a while to get a true wide receiver one onto that team. They brought Antonio Brown out there, right? Yeah. They've been trying to get a true wide receiver one on that team for a while. So I think it's going to be him. All right, and let's talk about our tight end sleeper here. Justin, you want to give us a name?
Yep.
We just have one.
If we just have one on this one, and that's Blake Jarwin. And he's Dallas Cowboys. I do want to say that on some of these sleepers, we want to make sure we know everybody knows
what team
who they play for.
yeah, sleepers.
But
who?
This is a guy that some people are finally starting to talk about him. And
a little bit.
And the reason why is, I mean, the guy is talented. They signed him to a 3-year contract extension. The Cowboys have the second most vacated targets at 190. Okay, yes, they drafted CeeDee Lamb. That's something that everybody likes to talk about. Well, they also let go of Jason Witten. They let go of Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
Hence, 190 vacated targets. And you don't just give a guy 3-year, $20-some-odd million if you don't think he's any good. And
but not only that, he got a ton of targets last year himself. He had over 50 targets last year, and he scored, I think, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's not like he's just out of left field kind of dude. It's
right.
Just, people are so enamored.
Not like a Tyler Higbee from last year kind of thing. No, this is a guy
he just doesn't have the cachet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or had the opportunity yet. And, I mean, all signs are pointing to him. This is his tight end room and his to lose. And we both don't think he's going to lose.
There's nothing behind him. There's nothing behind him. These targets are all going to him. The only guy on the team at tight end who got targets last year that's still on that team other than him got like 2 or 3 targets last year. Like, this is just an inline blocker. It's an extra lineman, and that's it. This dude is getting all the targets, guys. So, you know what? Get the guts to draft Blake Jarwin. That's what it's really going to take. Is, do you have the guts to say, fine, I'm going to let all of you guys draft every tight end off the board, and then I'm going to take in the last round Blake Jarwin?
Or will you break your 2 tight end draft rule, Kyle?
I might.
For a guy like this, if you're, I think if it's a 16, round draft and you're sitting there in the round 15,
something we haven't, something we haven't really gotten into is the whole idea behind expanded rosters potentially this year because of the COVID issues, right? Yeah. And I think that if you get expanded rosters where you're talking about a 20 player roster, absolutely, this guy better be on your roster, and you better draft, another tight end as well. Right. This year might be the only reason to break the mold for a while on 1 QB, 1 tight end, because you kind of need to carry your own taxi squad. Like, you're going to have to be able to bring guys in,
call them up, bring in the righty.
Yeah. And so, like, look, a guy like Blake Jarwin could be a league winning pick. He's like, a lot of these guys that we've talked about are not necessarily guys that are going to be league winners. I would put Stafford there. I would say that if Antonio Gibson gets running back 1 carries, he could potentially be that for you. I like Zach Moss. I don't think, though, that he's definitely got a ceiling that's not going to get you there. And Gage and Ruggs both probably have that ceiling as well. Blake Jarwin, I do not believe, has that ceiling. Now, look, tight end isn't going to win your league, but it could help you lose your league. So you've got to have something right there. And I think that Jarwin's the guy who's going to get it done for people at an unbelievable price, just unbelievable in the draft. Yep. So, I wouldn't shy away from taking him over, my 6th wide receiver. I think that there's nothing wrong with that, because let's say that you have a decent tight end 1 and you have him, you could end up trading one of them away and getting yourself upgrading somewhere else, So, all right.
If you guys have any, sleepers out there that you're just pounding the table at right now that we didn't talk about, because, we only came at you with 6, and these are our 6 favorite ones. Definitely throw those in the comments below. Let us know what you think and the reason why, maybe. Don't just be like, blah, blah. Don't just give us a name. Yeah.
Tell us why you think they're in a great situation.
Let's have a conversation.
Yeah. So throw that comment down there. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified every time that we upload the best fantasy football podcast on the internet. We thank you guys for being fans of the Upside, and we will see you next time.
Here comes that outro.
Bye.